All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to tackle the origin of, well, everything. But here's the twist. We're not just looking at it through the cold, hard lens of science. We're going to treat it like a kind of cosmic poem. And our story, it doesn't even begin at the start. It begins in the moment before the beginning. So, I want you to try and wrap your head around something truly unimaginable. A state where there's no morning, no evening, not even a speck of dust. Just this perfect, silent potential. A place where the very ideas of time and space just hadn't been born yet. Wild, right?
Okay, so this is where our story kicks off. We're diving into that moment before time, exploring what's been called the perfect nullity.
You know, we usually hear about the singularity in these really stark physical terms, right? Infinite density, zero volume. But I want us to think about it differently for a second. Frame it as a single, unified being of existence, a state where all the laws of physics that we know, they were all just one thing. A perfect balance holding this zero potential. It's everything and it's nothing all at the same time. But here's the thing about perfect balance. It's fragile. Something had to come along and shatter that silence. And that was the moment of creation. An event that's been described, pretty poetically, as a thought without a thinker.
I mean, this is the ultimate question, isn't it? If everything was just perfectly, symmetrically silent, what could have possibly broken it? What was the catalyst for, well, for everything we see around us?
Okay, so get this. The answer we're exploring here isn't a physical force. It's something way more fundamental. It's pure mathematics. You're looking at Euler's identity, and it's just beautiful. It has 0, 1, e, pi, and I. I mean, these are the absolute bedrock building blocks of math. The idea here is that the cosmos didn't explode from matter, but from the sudden, elegant, undeniable truth of an equation. And that mathematical explosion, that was what's being called the clicker of becoming. It's not a physical switch you can flip. Think of it more like a spontaneous quantum impulse. Try to picture a wave with no water to travel through, or a thought with no mind to actually think it. It's just there. And that one little ripple was enough to shatter the symmetry and set literally everything in motion. Okay, so the click has happened, the cosmic silence is officially broken, and now we get to see the universe being forged. We see the very first atoms emerging, shaped by what you could call an invisible hand. So out of that initial spark, the first characters in our cosmic story step onto the stage. First up, you've got hydrogen, the simplest atom, which becomes the fuel for all the stars. Then comes dark matter, the invisible sculptor, whose gravity literally pulls together the skeletons of galaxies. Then you have silicon and carbon, kind of like the twin architects of matter. And finally, there's light, which becomes both the universe's clock and its memory. And this is where we see this really profound fork in the road. You have two elements, silicon and carbon, both born in the fiery hearts of stars. But they go down completely different paths. Silicon, that becomes the foundation of the inanimate world. We're talking rocks, planets, the ground beneath our feet. But carbon becomes the flexible, incredibly complex architecture of life itself, of us. But it wasn't just matter and energy that burst into existence in that first moment. Something else was born too. Something a lot more philosophical. A concept that's been called an echo without a cause. Yeah, just let that one sink in for a minute. An echo without a cause. The idea is that a thought awakened in the very first instant of the universe. Not a word, not a sound, just a ripple of pure potential. And the implication of that, it's absolutely staggering. It means that the possibility of stars, planets, life, consciousness, the possibility of you and me, it all existed right there, in that first moment. The whole story of the universe was basically encoded from the very start. So, after all this grand, cosmic storytelling, it all boils down to a really personal question, doesn't it? In this massive, epic story of creation, where do we fit in? Well, here's a really beautiful perspective to consider.
What if that initial unified being from before the beginning never actually left? What if it's not some distant, abstract entity, but it's actually woven into the very fabric of reality itself, present in every mathematical equation, every single carbon atom, and every living thing, including us?
And that leaves us with a final, and I think pretty provocative thought. What if we aren't the end point of creation? What if humanity, with our unique ability to look up at the stars and wonder and try to understand it all, what if we're just the latest form this cosmic consciousness has taken? Maybe we're not the last chapter in the book. Maybe we're the first line in a brand new one, part of a story that is still very much being written.